Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you how I create this leaf border around badges using Aspire. So stick around and I'll show you how. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is import the badge you're looking to replicate by going to File and Import Bitmap. I already have mine loaded right here. And we want to make sure it's centered in our work area. So we'll go over to the ruler, click and hold down and drag out this line till it's centered in your workspace. And then make sure your badge is centered. Looks good there. And looks good there. It's going to be a little off, but it's close enough for us to work with. So let's click that line, drag it back off. And now let's go ahead and go to Object Properties and fade this out a little bit so we can see what we're working with. Okay. Okay, now we're going to draw the outline of this badge by going to here and selecting Create Line. And just click center spot here on the bottom on the outside of the badge. And then drag over here to about midway, click there, and up at the top, and let's click there. Okay. And then let's go to our node editing mode and click that path, hover over this node, and hit S on the keyboard to soften it. And now we just want to start playing with these little curves until we get it to match the shape of our badge. So I'll just be doing this and we'll move this out here like that. Okay, you just want this to wrap around the outside of the badge like that. Okay, let's move that in just a little bit. And that looks good. And remember, keep the top and bottom nodes like this. Keep their lines horizontal so that when you reverse that, you don't have any weird angles like a curve or anything like that. So make sure it's flat along the bottom. And that looks good there. And it looks good there. Okay. Now we'll select that path and let's go over here to mirror. We'll mirror it horizontal. And then hold down Shift on the keyboard, select the other one, and we'll join those by hitting Join Close twice. Make sure I got that twice. There we go. Okay, and then we'll hide our bitmap, and there we go. So that's the outline of the badge, or the shape of the badge right now. Next thing you want to do is create an offset of this, and this will be what the design or the leaves you're looking to replicate will be formed around. So let's offset that till it's about center of these leaves by going to offset, and let's go start with 0.1 to see what that does. Okay, so we're a little off, so let's undo that and let's go 0.2. All right, how's that look? Good. Okay, so that follows the center of these leaves. And now this one, we'll select that, and I already have a new layer set up for temp. But just right click on that and move to just a new layer or layer you already created, and make sure it's hidden so we don't have to, so it doesn't get in our way at the moment, because we're not going to need that. All right, so now we have that selected. I'm going to come back over to our node editing mode, and then at the bottom here, find the node that is midway between this first set of leaves. So let's go about right there, hover over it, hit C on your keyboard. Let's come back up to the top. And let's get the center of this set of leaves. We won't worry about this one. We'll add that one separately. So let's just do this one, hover over it, C on the keyboard. And then this path is already selected. If not, make sure it's selected. And then hit delete on your keyboard. Not going to need that at the moment. Okay, so right now we have this path that extends from the bottom around the side to the top. And this is what we're going to curve our leaf shape around. Also, you want to make sure that this first node is your start point. And if it isn't, just right click on it and then click make start point. Okay, now that we got that done, we will go ahead and send that to our hidden layers, well, just for the moment, because we want to work on these leaves design. So in this image, these leaves look hand drawn and everyone's gonna be a little different one, but what we're gonna do is just create one set based off of this and then just duplicate that all the way around, kind of clean things up. So let's go over here and let's select our curve tool, draw arc. And let's come in here where we think the base of this leaf is. Let's go about right there. And let's drag up to the top of the leaf and then come out like this. All right, that looks good. Click this top one, come down like this. We'll leave a little space here and you'll see why in just a moment. But let's come off here just a little bit and bring that out like that. Good. And select that other path. And then we'll hit join twice. And it'll join those two ends like that. Okay. Now let's offset that. Right now I'm going to do a 0.03. Let's go outward. Okay, and this is just going to be the outline of the leaf once we're completed. Let me hide this so you can see. So this will be, if you can imagine, between these two lines will be black. So this black will be the outline of the leaf. Let's select that again. Now let's get this center point here. This little line that goes in the center of the leaf. And we'll do that again by doing our create arc tool. Click down here at the bottom of this path. And let's go up here about here and pull it out like that. Click, and I'll set that there. And let's click down there, come back up and join them two. And just move just a little bit like that. Good. All right, let's select our cut tool and just cut this path right there. And let's right click and make sure everything is closed by select open vectors. No open vectors, we know that that's a closed path. And that looks good like that. Okay, so you got one leaf completed. Let's do the other one. The other one's pretty easy. Now that we got the first one done, we'll just select all that. We'll come back over here to mirror. Instead of horizontal, let's just do left and it'll keep it beside it. And let's play with this rotation and the position to where we get it where we want it. Okay, that looks good right there. Let's hide this, we can see. Okay, yeah, so these are the two leaves, and now we want to make that one. Right now we have overlapping paths we're gonna want to get rid of. Now, we want this leaf here to be the top leaf. So as you do this, we'll select our cut tool, and just imagine anything from this leaf shouldn't be overlapping this leaf, which is our top one. So we're going to delete them by cutting them, joining that like that, cut that, and cut that. And then let's select and delete these paths like that. Good, and let's clean up this bottom a little bit. Okay. So there we go. There's our first set of leaves completed, and let's make sure everything's closed again by selecting all open vectors. No open vectors in design, so good. Something I also want to do is select all of this and then come over to the vector validator, click that, search, and it'll tell you if you have any issues, zero spans, overlaps, or intersections. Right now we're 0 on everything, so everything is good. And now we're good to start wrapping that around this path. So let's move this path, select this inside path again, and move it back to layer 1 and hide that again. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to start wrapping these leaves around this path. Just drag this out of the way here. And right now, they're not grouped or anything, so we want to group them. Select them all, right click, group objects. That way it's easier to select. Make sure you don't miss anything as you're picking it. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to make sure our badge is displayed again. Now we want to take this, so select that, hold down shift on the keyboard, select your path, and let's come over here to copy along vector. So it'll copy these leaves along that vector starting here because we made that our start point. Right now we have number to copy 6. That looks like a lot more than 6. I won't count them all at the moment, but let's just go 20, just see what that looks like. Also align objects to curves and do that. Okay, so right now, since we align objects to curves, it will rotate along that curve, but as you see, the rotation is off. So let's undo that. And what you want to do is turn this horizontally like this. And let's try it again. Let's select, copy. All right, so we're looking a little better, but I think our position here is a little off because you can see it sticks out more on this end than it does here. So let's undo that. And let's move this just a little, rotate that a little around like that. Let's select it again, copy them. Okay, yeah, so that looks a lot better. Like that. Let's check our top one. Okay, that looks good like that. But it does appear we need more of them in there. So let's undo that. And this time, let's go up to 26, just a random number. You can count each one if you want and do the exact number or get close. It's up to you and the style you're trying to go for. Yeah, I like the look of that. So let's make sure everything still looks good. Okay, so we're close there. And we're good there on the bottom. Yeah, okay, I think we're gonna go with that. So we'll close that. Go ahead and delete this set of leaves. We don't need that anymore. And you can also delete that path because we're not gonna need that anymore either. And then now let's hide the badge, select everything, and then ungroup them. So we'll just ungroup them back on the groups layer. Okay, so now every leaf is in, but as you see, we have a lot of overlapping vectors that we need to clean up. So let's get to doing that. Okay, to do that, we're going to select our cut tool over here. And now, like earlier, you're gonna have to use your imagination here. Each leaf, set of leaf, is going to be behind the first set. This set will be behind that. This set will be behind that. And you want to cut these vectors to replicate that. So just imagine, like I said, anything from this set of leaves overlapping this set of leaves needs to be removed. So we'll just cut those. We'll come down here, cut that, cut that, cut that, and cut that. Okay, now if we select all open vectors, it'll select all those we just cut. We can hit delete. As you see what we're starting to form here, so this set of leaves is over this set. Let's do the same for this. And let's close that and select all open vectors, which is those, and hit delete. Now, issue you might run into, let's say you're cutting and you miss one. So on purpose, I've missed this one right here that extends up here. I missed that. Close that. And now if I right click and select all open vectors, you'll see this leaf is open because this path continues down. We just forgot to cut that, no big deal. So we'll just come back over here to our scissors and select that, close, good, and that'll close up. And now we can select our open vectors and delete those. And there you go, as you can see, the leaves are starting to extend upwards here. So I'll just go ahead and finish the rest of these and we'll be back when all of that is completed. Okay, so we got everything cut and joined here. I've just left this last one because, like I told you, we need to do this one little leaf here, and we'll use this, copy and paste that there. Let's go ahead and drag our line out here and make sure we know where our center point is. And then let's select that line, copy that and paste it. And then let's just move it up here and rotate until we're close to the center so that when we mirror it, they're close to each other. And let's just come down like this. All right, and then let's offset that by 0.3 as we did the other ones. Okay, good. And that's fine if it's extending past this center line. Once we mirror it, we'll cut that and it'll join. And then now that's done, let's go ahead and cut these. And let's select our open vectors so that we can remove those. And then come back and cut these. Select all open vectors, delete that. Okay, and then there we go. And then you can just play with this top one until you get the look that you want. Make sure it looks right, and that looks good. Okay, We will select all open vectors again just to make sure we're good on that. Good. Let's select everything and let's check for any errors by clicking our validator. And it says we have 2 overlaps. If your vectors or your nodes are very close, depending on the scale you're sizing this at, you'll get this warning. I'll just come in here, and if they're very close like this, just delete this one by hovering over it, hitting D on your keyboard. And let's go back out, select them all again, and validate again, see where that second one was. Right there. Okay. Node editing mode, delete that. And you go through here, and any nodes you see that are close to each other, you can clean up and kind of get rid of them. So like this one right here, delete that, and just play around with it. Like I said, depending on the size, if you go smaller, you'll get a lot more warnings because these nodes will be closer together. But as it stands right now at the size we're doing it, that looks like it'll work. So that's good. So we know they're all closed. We don't have any more errors. So let's select everything, come over here to mirror, and then we'll mirror this horizontal. And then these little leaves that I was talking about earlier, we will cut those. And let's do the same at the bottom. Good. And select all open vectors and delete that. Good. And there you have it. We have successfully created a leaf border around our badge using Aspire. And this is what the final results look like. Hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If so, please share with someone you think could use this information, and like and subscribe for more how-tos. Comment below with any questions or suggestions you may have. Take care, and I'll see you next time.